Have you been scammed in 2020? Find out the most popular ones this year. Click on that little box down there in the corner. It'll take you straight to IGTV for today's episode. JimmyRants.com is the website, and as always, you can engage live in the content. Come follow me. I'm over on Instagram. I am at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, engage live. We are here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, so thank you so much for being here today. We also simulcast live over here on my Facebook channel. Thank you guys for being here, as well as over on the YouTube stream. Thank you all for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay. We put the replay right up there on IGTV. Right as soon as this is over, it will pop on over there, so check it out there. We also put the past episodes up over on YouTube. Type in the keyword Jimmy Rants, you will find the show. And then today, you guys, is Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, we give you a special Jimmy Rants bonus episode over on YouTube. And so go check it out. It is my interview with Dr. Johnny Bowden. He's a longtime friend of mine. About a month after I started the Livin' La Vida Low Carb blog back in 2005, I get this book in the mail from this guy, and it was called Living the Low Carb Life, and it was from Johnny Bowden. And I'm thinking, oh wow, a published author. Ooh, little did I know someday I would be a published author, but it was a cool deal at the time. And he just has always been a supporter of my work. He said, you're going places. Like, he saw the value in me long before I saw it. And so I try to be that for other people now. But Johnny was that for me. So Johnny is on my show today on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show. So you can watch the Jimmy Rants bonus episode, which has the video interview, or listen to it on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show podcast, LLVLC.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But he has a book called The Great Cholesterol Myth. And it's a re-release. It just recently re-released. They revised it and updated it, put some really cool information in there about insulin resistance that I think you will find greatly helpful. So go listen to that interview. Johnny and I, like I said, have been longtime friends. I think he's been on the show more than anybody else. Probably 9 or 10 times I've had him on in the 1,700 episodes I've done of the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show. So go check that out today. And then finally, pop on over to the official website for this show. It is JimmyRants.com. Once you're there, you can actually see all the past episodes there. And you can also support my work either through the Patreon link or the PayPal link. And a donation of any amount will be greatly appreciated. Okay, you guys, I wanted to bring to you a topic here today that unfortunately is just a sign of the times. When the internet came along, everybody was so excited that we had information at our fingertips, able to interact with one another. I was one of the first people that really got online. I'm going to date myself here a little bit, but back in 1992, I graduated college and I went off to grad school about a year later. And I remember in grad school, they're like, oh, there's this thing called the internet. If you heard about this, it's really fascinating. Like, you can go on this computer thing and you can connect with other people, and it was so new. In fact, I remember in grad school, my first semester there, they actually had an HTML writing class. So you learned how to write the code, the little closed angle thing, a ref equals colon, and then you put in the URL and the end colon and to link. Now, all of that's archaic now, but back in the day, that was kind of how I did it. But little did they know, I suppose, when that was all starting, just how insidious the nefarious people out there would be at using this technology to scam people. And I want to give you a personal example. I have several personal examples, and I have some articles that talk about the scams that are out there. I have 2 examples. I'm going to share one here now, and then when I get to the other one, I'll share it in a minute. I did not get scammed with that, but I noticed it. So I noticed, looking at my bank statement, I was looking at it just this morning on my phone, that I got a charge. In fact, I took a screenshot here on the Instagram feed so you guys can see it. So I got a charge for $2.99 The first one was in August 31st. Then I got another one 2 weeks later on September 14th. Then another one September 28th. And then another one 2 weeks later here on October 13th. So these are all charges from this company called PCVTSH.com. And it looks like they're out of California, and they give an 866 number. And so I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Like, when I opened it up to try to see it, it just says miscellaneous charge. And I'm going, all right, well, I didn't charge anything. I don't know who PCVTSH.com is. So I got to that website. I decided, let me go click on PCVTSH.com. I go there and look at what they try to do to scam people out of even more money, guys. It's so insidious. Watch this. And sorry for those of you on the Facebook and YouTube feed, you can't see this, but I'm describing it for you. So here they are. Here's how you cancel your subscription. The first box says, enter the 6 digits of the credit card used. First 6 digits. Then the second box says, enter the last 4 digits of the credit card used. Are people that stupid? You're basically giving them your entire credit card number when you do that. These people are evil as they come. And oh my goodness, I just shudder at the people who actually fall for this scam. And these are the things that are out there, you guys. And so this is a real life example for me. I don't know how they got my credit card number, but they're charging me every 2 weeks. I did call Wells Fargo this morning, my local branch. They know me well. And I said, hey, you know, what can I do about this? They said, okay, come on into the office, the branch, and we will end those payments. And so I'm okay. I've lost $12, so I'm not going to worry about $12. Just don't keep charging me every 2 weeks. But this is a reminder, you guys, that there are internet scams galore out there. And oh my gosh, you would think with 2020, there would be a little more kind-heartedness from these people out there that do these scams. They have ramped it up in the midst of COVID-19, and we're going to talk about some of those here in just a minute as well. So if you're just joining us, we're going to talk about some of the top internet scams of 2020, how you can spot them before you become a victim. Now, thankfully, this one I was involved with, it's $2.99 at a time every couple weeks. Most people aren't going to notice that. So had I not been scrolling on my bank statement this morning, I would not have noticed that. But once you do notice it, then you can take care of it. But sometimes you can't take care of it. You just SOL, you're out of the money, and it could be a substantial amount of money. So I've got 3 different articles here. We'll kind of skip around on them because they all have really good information about the various scams that are out there. And maybe you've noticed this. I'll tell you what. It's not just the internet. I know I'm going to focus on the internet ones here today. But have you guys had a ramping up of the number of telemarketer calls? Like robocalls? When you get a robocall, hello, you have been entered into a chance to win a trip to blah, 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 blah. Just sign up now and da-da-da and speak to a representative. You know, and then if you do get a real person, hello, is this James Moore? Is this James Moore? Okay, click. You get those kinds of people, and they're just out in droves. I want to give you a resource before I start reading about these scams. There is a lady that is amazing. If you're not familiar with her, she is definitely on Instagram. I've seen her there. She does YouTube videos. She is fabulous at exposing these scammers and in kind of talking to them and showing you how they try to work. And she tries to waste their time because they waste your time. IRL, which stands for in real life, Rosie, R-O-S-I-E. Go look up IRL Rosie. She is amazing. If you want entertainment value plus being educated on what these scammers do, IRL Rosie is your girl. She started a YouTube channel about a year ago, and I think she just passed 500,000 subscribers. And she's really good. She's a voice actor and an actress in LA. and she's got a Britney Spears voice. She can do like an old lady voice. She can do a little kid voice. She's got some really cool little voices that she does. And she'll just jerk around with these guys to show how desperate they are. And of course, she does a lot of the ones with the credit card scams. Oh, go get a credit card from Walgreens and then give us the number and we'll send you your $3,000. You won the grand prize. You know, they'll do all that kind of stuff. So those are out there as well. But let's talk about the internet ones. So this is from Investopedia.com. Watch out for these top internet scams. Internet scams continue to evolve. The FBI documented a record $3.5 billion lost to people just last year. $3.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Right now, con artists all over the world are likely to target your computer or your mobile device. Here's a look at the most common internet scams and what you can do to safeguard your information. So let's start with the COVID-19 ones, because COVID-19, they are using this, you guys. I even heard the other day, I don't think it was in this article because it came out in September, late September, but I heard one the other day where now that we're going to be getting a second stimulus package in the mail soon from Congress, that's going to go out probably within the next month or so. They're going to give a second stimulus package to people that qualify. There are already scam artists saying, hey, we'll give you an advance on that stimulus check before it comes. You just have to send us a processing fee of $29.99 and we'll go ahead and front you the money. Well, they're going to take your $29.99. Those kinds of things are out there. And so the problem is the people that aren't educated on these things not being real, or the elderly, they prey on those who are the most vulnerable. And that's what really makes me upset. I'm pretty adept at spotting these things a mile away, but not everybody is. All right, so let's take a look at the COVID-19 online scams. According to Google, scammers are taking advantage of the increase in COVID-19 communications by disguising their scams as legitimate messages about the virus. Alongside using emails, they also may use text message, automated calls, and malicious websites to reach you. Text message, I've been getting quite a few of them political. I'm like, leave me alone. I know who I'm voting for. I don't need your help. And I'm not sending money. So those are out there. All right, so what are the common COVID-19 scams that you need to be on the lookout for? The first one is fake health organizations. Sometimes spammers pose as health authorities like the World Health Organization or the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, and they offer you a cure for COVID-19, a test, or any other kind of COVID-19 information and products. The next thing, websites that will sell you fake products. These sites offer face masks, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, other high-demand products, but then you never get them. Buy products from only known marketers. The next one is bogus government sources. These scammers claim to issue updates and payments on behalf of the IRS or your local tax authority. Those are out there. Next one, fraudulent financial offers. They may pose as a bank, debt collector, or investor, which offers offers designed to steal your financial information, just like the one I just shared with you at the beginning of this Jimmy Rants. And then the last one, fake nonprofit donation. Like, everybody has a heart that people are struggling, so they want to help and they want to donate to nonprofits. Many people like to donate to charitable causes during a disaster. This provides an excellent opportunity for the scammers to set up a fake one, a nonprofit, a hospital, or other organization, and all they do is collect your money. Donate directly through a reputable nonprofit website instead of clicking on a link in an email or text. That is such a good reminder. If you get anything in an email or a text, don't click on any hyperlink. Because most of the reputable people doing these things, they're not directly texting or emailing you about it. They will get the word out through radio messages, public service announcements, maybe a mailer in the mail. They're not going to text you and email you. So that's your first clue. And a lot of times in those emails, you can tell it's a scam. Here's your clue, you guys, how you can figure out a scam in an email. Click on the to. So sometimes you'll just see a name for the email address in the to. So TO. So click on, it's usually blue. You can click on it and it will show you the actual email address, not just what they want you to see. Let's say it's Wells Fargo, for example. It'll just say Wells Fargo. But if you click on the blue, it scrolls down and you see Wells Fargo 97341 at USA123594.com. Obviously, it's not from the real Wells Fargo, but they make it look that way because they use the Wells Fargo. It looks like it in the email. It's got all the little thing. And you click on a link in there and it sends you right to a scammer's website, which they have cloned. Looks like the Wells Fargo website. And they use that insidiously, just like this one that I mentioned at the very beginning. Oh, type in your first 6 numbers of your credit card number. And then the next box. All right, type in the last 4 of your credit card number. Like, people are that stupid. And they fall for it. I should be kinder, I suppose. People are that ignorant of how these things work. People are way, way too trusting. And on the internet, you really can't trust anybody. All right, so that's all the COVID-19 ones. Let's go to disaster relief scams. When disaster strikes, whether it's a pandemic or weather-related, so do the fraudsters. Hiding behind the guise of an actual aid organization, scammers will try to use a tragedy or a natural disaster to con you out of money. By thinking you're donating to an emergency relief fund, you unwittingly give them your credit card information and other ways of getting money. Only give to an established, legitimate organization. So there's 2 websites you could DuckDuckGo these. GuideStar, GuideStar, all one word. Just do a search of that word, or Charity Navigator. Those 2 websites will give you all the valid charitable organizations, so you can support directly to their website. Okay. If you're just joining us, yes, we are talking about internet scams. They are out in full force here in 2020. I'm telling you how you can spot them, what the most popular ones are, and then try to prevent it before you become a victim. I shared a story at the beginning that I have been the victim the past few months, apparently, of a continuous billing scam. So they got my information about every 2 weeks. They've been charging me $2.99. I just discovered it today. Just as soon as this Jimmy Rants is over, I go right up to my bank and we're going to take care of that here today. But I wanted you guys to be informed about this because they are out in full force in 2020. The next one is probably one of the most popular kinds of scams that's out there, and it's the phishing scam. So you guys have heard about this, phishing scams. So here's what happens. You get an email from a seemingly familiar enterprise that you deem legitimate, something like your bank, like the Wells Fargo example I was just talking about. Bank, university, retailer. The message directs you to a website, usually to verify your personal information, like an email address and password. And then they steal your information and expose your computer to attack. Phishing scams are some of the most common attacks on the consumer. According to the FBI, over 114,700 people fell victim to this just in 2019. Those people alone lost $57.8 million, which was about $500 each. According to the Federal Trade Commission, phishing emails and text messages frequently will tell stories to trick people into clicking on a link or opening an attachment. Here are some of the telltale signs you are being phished. Say they've noticed suspicious activity or login attempts on your account. I can tell you this. I have gotten a letter in the mail from my internet service provider. And the letter in the mail says, we have detected that you have some malware on one of the devices from your Wi-Fi. Please install this malware protection that we have conveniently offered and there's my phone ringing over at YouTube. Shoot, I just lost. YouTube went away, and I'm not putting XXX again. I did that yesterday by accident, and that was bad, so. Anyway, back to the ISP. Crap. I hate it when they call right in the middle of this show. Don't you know I do a live show? Sorry, YouTube. Hopefully they find me on one of the others. I'm not going to go back on that one again. Shoot. Malware. So yeah, they thought I had malware, and so they said, here's how you fix it. And so yeah, they basically say, here's the website. You go on the website. Oh, click on this link here, and it will fix all of your computer. Well, what they did was they put the malware on at that time. It was bad, and I kept getting those every single month. I would be getting those, and of course I'm calling Spectrum to say, hey, what's the deal? And they're like, oh, that's a scam. Please stay away from that. But it looks so legit because it's got their logo, it's got all that stuff going on. So it's crazy, guys. That's the kind of things that are out there. The next one claims that there is a problem with your account or the payment. That's always a telltale sign that they are phishing. Next, they say you need to confirm or update your personal information. No company ever does that. If they need that information, there's other ways for them to get it, not in a random email. They include a fake invoice. I hate those. Because you know how many people get an invoice in like an email, and then, oh, click here and you can pay for this invoice, and they think it's legit, and then they come to find out it was not legit. They ask you to click on a link in order to make a payment. They claim you're eligible to sign up to get a government refund. That's a big one. Or they often offer a coupon for free goods and services. So that's all the ways that they try to reel you in with phishing. Now, I want to show you in this article, they show an actual phishing email, and you'll note the suspicious return email has nothing to do with Netflix. This is what I was talking about. So Netflix, there's one for Netflix, and it looks all legit, and up here, I know you can't see it, but that is not the Netflix email. So right there, see? It looks so official, update current billing information, and look at the email. It's nowhere near, well, it's so funky monkey, it's obvious it's a scam. You should never click on any link that's provided in the email that you can't independently confirm. Doing so will make your computer and your personal information all vulnerable to viruses and malware. Let me tell you about viruses we know about. They get in there and they do nasty things. Malware is even more insidious. You know what malware does? Malware gets in there and it starts data collecting. It sees every single thing on your computer, including saved passwords on websites, so they can access your banking information. They can access pretty much any picture on your computer. Anything on that computer, they'll have access to. So this stuff's bad. You get malware on there, it's really bad. Again, though the sender may seem legitimate to you, which is exactly what they want you to believe, no reputable institution will ever ask for your password or other key information like that online. Phishing emails will often contain typos, look for those as well, and grammar errors, and the sender's email always will look suspicious. So that's my telltale sign. When I get something in the email, I click on the to and see what the actual email is, and if it's some funky monkey one like the one for Netflix I showed you here, it's illegitimate. Phishing emails are often rife with lots of typos, lots of grammar errors. This is an intentional strategy that they use to weed out people who would probably not fall for the scam. Their thinking is, okay, if we put misspelled words or bad grammar in there and they still fall for it, that's exactly who we want. In other words, they're looking for the stupid people. It's unfortunate, but they are out there. Next one, fake shopping websites and formjacking. Thousands of fake websites will offer great deals on well-known brands. These websites typically have URLs that are similar to brands that they try to mimic. Check this one out. They'll use Amazon, where there's a 0 instead of the .net. If you buy something from one of these websites, chances are you'll receive a counterfeit item in the mail, or you won't get anything at all. Formjacking, listen to this is kind of a new term, is another retail scam. This happens when a legitimate retail website is hacked. Shoppers get redirected to a fraudulent payment page where the scammer then steals your personal and credit card information. To avoid this scam, double check that the URL on the payment page is the same as the website you were on. So maybe you go to pay for something and it redirects you to a third-party website. Look up at the URL. Sometimes it's hidden when it redirects, but click on the little box up there where the URL is. And if it looks anything different than the original, you're being scammed. To avoid this scam, double click, make sure it's the same page. Cyber criminals may change the URL just slightly so you don't notice. Maybe by adding or omitting a single letter. Be sure to take a closer look at the URL before you enter any payment information. Now let's turn to tech support scams. With this scam, you'll get a phone call, email, or pop-up warning indicating that your computer has been infected. So you need to ask yourself, how do they know that? How would they know? The scammer then prompts you to download an application that allows them to control your computer remotely. Then it downloads an actual virus or otherwise makes you believe something is wrong. And then they tell you they can fix the problem, but it's going to cost you money. Another way to reach you is through search results. Tech support scammers work hard to get their websites to show up very high in the online search results, or they actually run ads. Did you realize that scammers actually run an ad, like a Google ad, so that when you're looking for tech support, they're some of the top results? Shouldn't be that way. You would think that Google would have enough ethics to weed those people out, but they don't care. The almighty dollar always wins. So here's what one of those looks like. So threats detected, and it's got all this little stuff that kind of warns you. And it tells you need to call for support. Okay. Often these scammers ask you to pay using a bank wire, go buy a gift card, or a money transfer. If you give a scammer remote access to your computer, immediately update your security software, do a thorough scan, and then delete anything it identifies as a problem. If you shared your username and password, change those right away as well. Tech support scams are very common. The Federal Trade Commission says it's received more than 100,000 reports about these kinds of scams just last year. If you think you've been contacted by or have fallen victim to a tech support scammer, report this to the FTC. The next one is a big one too. I've seen a lot of this kind of one. Fake antivirus software. This is what's called Scareware. Fake antivirus software ads and pop-ups try to make you believe that your computer has been infected with a virus or dozens of them. And then you can fix the problem by simply downloading their software. These scammers get you two ways. They gain access to your credit card information. They get access to your computer. When you click the download link, you get a virus, malware, or ransomware instead of an antivirus software. According to Norton, which is one of the big companies in spyware, the scammers can use this malware to access your files, send out fake emails in your name, or track everything you do online. You see how insidious this is? How deeply they can get into your life, and how easy it is for them to just fool you just enough that you'll click on a link and then they have everything they need to destroy your life. Be wary of ads and pop-ups that prompt you to take immediate action, or ones that are hard to close. Be sure to install, update, and use real antivirus software to reduce the risk of scareware. The next category of scam are travel scams. New for 2020 are scammers that sell you phony COVID-19 travel insurance policies. Have you heard about these? They claim to cover any losses for any reason at no extra charge. Buyers find out the hard way these policies don't provide that kind of protection. In general, claims due to known, foreseeable, or expected events, epidemics, government prohibitions, warnings, or travel advisories are not covered by travel insurance. COVID-19 is a foreseen event, so many travel insurance coverages don't apply. The only way to get coverage for COVID-19 related losses is to buy something called Cancel for Any Reason policy directly from a licensed, reputable company. These policies usually will cover significantly more than your standard travel insurance. Another travel scam involves social media. Scammers post enticing photos on places like Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook to dupe even the savviest of travelers. When you click on the image, which lures clicks through the promise of a free trip or plane tickets, you will be prompted to either complete a survey that is rife with your personal information or open your computer up to secretly malicious software. Make sure the social media page that you're on is an accredited account. All major airlines and travel sites link directly to their social media handles from their respective websites. The next one, grandparent scams. Listen to this one, you guys. With grandparent scams, a fraudster poses as a panicked grandchild who needs cash right away for some emergency. They got to get out of jail, they need to leave a foreign country, pay a hospital bill. I've run into this one quite a bit with what I do online. And they'll, oh, you don't know me very well, but I am stuck in a jail over in Saudi Arabia and I need $2,000 to get out. If they let me out, and I really would, God bless you if you send the money, and you get caught up in the emotional aspect of it. The COVID-19 pandemic has made it even easier to sell these lies. Grandma, I'm in the hospital with COVID. Please send money right away. AARP says that grandparent scams are on the rise. Nearly $41 million in reported losses just 2 years ago, and that was up $26 million from just the year before. According to the FTC, you can avoid these scams if you resist the urge to act immediately. Scammers pull at your heartstring and rely on you to respond quickly before you can think things through. Never, ever, when it comes to your money, never, ever think with your heart. You got to think, especially if it's somebody you don't know. Obviously, if it's your own child or your own family or you know the people involved, that's a whole nother thing. But if you're getting some random stranger emailing you, talking to you through a DM on social media, that's a whole nother story. You've got to verify that bad boy. Now, maybe it's legit, but most of the time it's not. Also, verify the identity of the person. Ask questions that a stranger wouldn't be able to answer. Confirm the story with other family members because they're pretending like they're your own grandson or daughter. And so you need to be like, okay, so where did I take you on your 8th birthday? And I do this a lot. I do this a lot when people are scamming me. And I get a bunch of them, you guys, with what I do online here on Instagram in the DM. I'll sometimes get some weird ones. And we'll get to some of those kinds here in a minute that involve like love, relationship, and trying to act like they're da-da-da. So anyway, sometimes I'll be like, okay, so you're a big fan of what I do. What do I do? Oh, you know what you do. Da-da-da. No, I need to hear you. What was your favorite podcast interview guest I had? And of course, they're always flummoxed by that. That is a telltale sign they're scamming you. Ask questions a stranger wouldn't answer. Confirm the story with other family members or friends, even if they say to keep it a secret. And never, ever, ever send them cash, gift cards, or money transfers. The next kind of fraud that you need to be on the lookout for is called a 419 fraud. It's an advance fee scam. This is the whole Nigerian letter scam. I think we've seen the Nigerian letter forever. Ever since email has been out there, I think the Nigerian scam has been out there. 419 fraud is one of the most common on the internet, one you've likely seen in your own inbox. The advance fee scheme takes its name after the section of the Nigerian criminal code that outlaws fraud. According to the FBI, more than 14,600 people reported falling victim to advance fee scams just last year. Collectively, they lost $100.6 million, somewhere around $7,000 each. The scammer usually claims to be a member of a very wealthy Nigerian or other West African family, reaching out to you personally after the death of a loved one. He or she seeks to locate a large fortune out of the country for safekeeping purposes and into your bank account. What's the catch? You have to submit a small payment for fees in return to get that large cachet of cash. You should never respond to these or volunteer your bank details. Any correspondence should be sent to the FBI, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, the U.S. Secret Service, or the Federal Trade Commission. The next one, pre-approved notice. You receive a letter or an email declaring that you've been pre-approved for a credit card or a loan. Those experiencing financial strain may fall victim to this scam, which promises instant approval and appealing credit limits. What's the catch? You must pay an upfront fee when you sign up. While credit card companies do charge annual fees, they will never ask you to pay them when you apply. In general, be wary of any offer that has a 100% guarantee, requires any upfront fees, or that requests payments in cash, money transfer, or gift cards. If somebody asks you to pay with a gift card, that is your first clue you're being scammed. The reason they want the gift card is once they get the code that has the gift card, they've got the money. And they've scammed you. It's not as easy when you have other forms. Cash, obviously, they've gotten you as well. Same with money transfers. Next one, debt relief and credit repair scams. Individuals who are down on their luck can easily fall for an email claiming to relieve your debt or repair your bad credit. This scam makes the false promise to negotiate with creditors to either consolidate or settle your debt or remove negative information from your credit report. According to the FTC, these operations often charge cash-strapped customers a large upfront fee, but then fail to help them lower their debt if they provide anything at all. Try to steer clear of any debt relief company that asks for any kind of fees in advance before it settles a debt. Likewise, avoid any company that guarantees it can eliminate or reduce your debt by X amount by X date. Research any debt relief or credit repair service you are considering. It's a good idea to check with your state's Attorney General and Consumer Protection Agency to learn about the company's reputation. So when I was in heavy debt, I used this Consumer Credit Counseling Service, CCC. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they're reputable and got that debt down with them. Now, you can do it on your own. Do the Dave Ramsey. If you've ever read any of his stuff, listen to his podcast, his radio show. He gives great tips on how you can get out of debt. But never, ever fall for one of these scams or you're going to go even deeper in debt than you already are. The next one is a lottery scam. Congratulations, you've won the lottery or some large amount of money, except you really haven't. This bogus email comes to you out of the blue, usually claiming to be a part of an international sweepstakes, stressing that you've won big and that you just need to send over a small processing fee or get in touch with someone who can process your winnings. Unless you've entered some legitimate lottery, chances are you didn't win the lottery. When you win the lottery, you contact the appropriate retailer, not the other way around. The next one, fake check or money transfer. You list something on an auction-based website. The winning bidder offers to pay you more than the offered purchase price via cashier's, corporate, or personal check. Upon receiving the scammer's counterfeit check, you are conned into sending the difference back through bank wire. Then you have to pay the bank back in full once the fake check bounces. Never accept payment for more than your selling price. Additionally, you should opt for a secure form of e-payment such as PayPal or Google Wallet so you can ward off these scammers. So these are people that sell on eBay, maybe Etsy, some of these sites that people can buy things from you. And if they give you more money than what you asked for, don't accept that payment. Not if it comes in the form of a check in the mail, which ends up being bogus, and then they ask for you to send the money back, the difference, is a fake check, and they're trying to scam you out of money. You see how these people are creative. If anything else, they're creative. They're skeevy as all get out, but they are creative. So the bottom line is it's safe to assume that if anyone is asking for your bank or personal information, you're being scammed. Just know that. You should never give out personal information to anyone online who contacts you directly. If you have to make a financial transaction online, make sure you're doing so on a secure server. So it'll be HTTPS. That's how you know you're on a secure server. And through a reputable website, which again, you need to know what those are. If you believe you've been scammed, immediately change every password on everything you do. Delete any malicious software you may have downloaded and call your credit card company to change your cards. I actually had to do that about 3 or 4 months ago. I started getting all these weird charges just suddenly. You're going to laugh at this, but just suddenly out of the blue, I had $6.79, $18.64. It's just all over the board. It was weird stuff. And I tried to figure it out. I called my bank and they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this activity on your account. And I'm like, yeah, it was like 4 or 5 days there. I just had string of charges. And they tracked it back to this like porno website. Now I don't do anything like that. It was weird to me. But they were like, okay, we've eliminated all of them. You got the money back into the account, but it was just this, it just suddenly can hit like that. So if you're not regularly looking at your bank account, you really should be, because these guys can hit you just suddenly. And then next thing you know, if you live paycheck to paycheck, it won't take long for you to notice you're out of a lot of money. Contact local law enforcement to report the scam if you need help with what the next step should be. You can also report it to the FBI, the Federal Trade Commission, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, as well as your state attorney general's office. So those are the most common scams that are out there on the internet. I've got a couple more articles. Let's see if there's anything else. This one here is from Norton.com. So they mentioned phishing, the antivirus, make money easy and fast scam. We'd like to all make money easy. Cyber criminals use that on unsuspecting users. These scam websites often say you can make a week's worth of salary in just a few hours. They lure you in with false promises. They then get you to hand over personal and financial information, often sensitive in nature. How do you spot this? It takes a little bit of common sense. While we all dream of being paid large sums of money in exchange for doing nearly nothing, the chances are slim that that's actually going to happen. If you're considering a make money easy and fast scam, be on the lookout. This is the clue. For advertisements that say it takes little to no skill to get involved, that you can set your own hours, or that you need to pay in order to get started. If the method to earn easy and fast cash was real, everybody would be doing it. Fake shopping websites, tech support. So those were the same ones as the other one. Now let me look at this last article, because there was one more type of article or scam that I wanted you to know about, at least one more. Employment scams. An employment scam can target people of all ages and may be difficult to detect because of how much work the scammers put into it. You could find yourself going through a series of interviews, including video interviews and performance tasks, before receiving a job offer and employment forms. The job may be described as flexible and remote, which will appeal to a lot of job hunters. In addition to collecting your personal information from the application form, the scammer could ask you to pay for equipment or training that they say you'll need for the job. Or they may send you a bad check for too much money and ask you to send back the difference. Unfortunately, it can take several days for you to realize that the check was bad, and your bank may even pull the funds out of your account after it accepts the deposit initially. Cryptocurrency is another scam. While the cryptocurrency craze may have settled, it's still the basis for a lot of scams. You may find yourself being promised an incredible investment opportunity, but you'll need to buy a cryptocurrency to claim your stake. Sometimes this may come during an initial coin offering called an ICO. While some legitimate companies have launched this way, scammers will just take your money and leave with nothing. leave you with nothing. The next one is another way I've been not scammed, but I've noticed it as it's happened. They're called romance scams. Romance scams aren't new, but they are taking on all kinds of new forms and becoming more common. The scam often starts on a dating app or social media where someone will reach out to you, start building a relationship with you. They may pose as someone working an altruistic job like doctor, military member in a different area so they can meet in person, although they may promise to visit soon, or can't meet in person, although they do promise to visit soon. After forming this connection, they will ask you to send a wire transfer, a gift card, a bank transfer, or other things on their behalf. The ask may be accompanied by an emergency situation, like a need for medicine. A sense of urgency is put there, so it kind of makes you want to hurry up and help. Romance scams tend to target people in their 50s and 60s, can be aimed at both men and women. They also don't always use a romantic angle. Sometimes they build a platonic friendship based on a lie before they ask for money. I'll tell you this, I play this game on my phone called Words with Friends. So you guys play Words with Friends? So if you're on Words with Friends, it's basically Scrabble on the phone, and you play with people online. They make a move, and then it sends you a message that says, okay, it's your turn to play, and then you make a move, and da-da-da, and there's a little chat box there. So about 4 months ago, I noticed that I had a game started with someone that was brand new. Like literally within the last week, I saw they had joined Words with Friends. And they started a game with me. And so here's the clues I knew they were a scam. Number one, I'm a dude. So the image of the person playing me was a really good looking girl. Doesn't mean good looking girls don't play Words with Friends, but that was my first clue. Second clue was when they started playing words, they played 2 or 3 point words. If you play Words with Friends 2 or 3 point words, you're going to get annihilated by Jimmy Moore. Because I don't play those smaller words, but they do. And after a few moves, then you'll notice in the little chat box, there's like a little 1. So you click on it and you go there. Every single one of these scammers. Hello. That's how they start. Hello. And they're trying to get you to interact. Now, if you ignore them, sometimes they go away, they'll end the game, da-da-da. Sometimes they'll be like, aren't you going to talk to me? Sometimes I'll have some fun with them. So I'm like, okay, hi, is what I'll write back. Then they'll write back, where are you from? And then I'll write back, I'm from planet Earth, where are you from? And it's very, very like that kind of way. If you go deep enough, and I did with 1 or 2 of them just to see where it went, they're trying to get money. They're trying to get you to wire them money, and it's a scam. These people are everywhere. Like, there's nowhere for you to hide. If you're online, they are gonna be just about everywhere online. Same thing with the DMs here on Instagram. I get those kind of people all the time. Hey, cutie, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they're hoping that you start a conversation, which then, like it said in this romance scam, leads to you sending them money or gift card or whatever. These things are everywhere, guys. Okay, and then in that same article, they had some general advice that I wanted to end with, and then we're going to see what you guys have to say. So here are the basic steps about how you can avoid being scammed and avoid becoming a victim. First of all, be skeptical of all incoming calls and emails that you receive. People are able to spoof and disguise their email address or phone number to make it look like their correspondence is coming from an official source like a bank, government agency, or charity. Instead of responding to these calls or messages, look them up and initiate the call yourself. In other words, you get, let's just say in my example, Wells Fargo sends me an email. Call Wells Fargo. Go look up Wells Fargo's actual number. Call them and say, hey, did you send this? Hey, is this real? And most of the time it's not. Next, keep your personal information personal. Most organizations that have access to your personal information will never, ever ask you to share it with them either by phone or email. If you're asked for a social security number, your mom's maiden name, bank account information, account usernames and passwords, and other personal information, an identity thief is probably on the call. Next one, research the companies you're working with before making any purchase that seems too good to be true. Research that company first. Okay? You could search for reviews of that company. You could search for the company's name plus scam to see what things they are. That scam that I mentioned at the beginning, that I'm going here in about 40 minutes to my bank to deal with, that scam had a URL that I then went and looked up and saw how truly bad it was. Immediately hang up on any robocalls. They have evolved these robocalls, and new systems may sound real, even have recorded messages that reply to your common questions. If you suspect that it might not actually be a person, don't say anything, don't follow prompts to press a button, just hang up. Because these people, they're just out to get your money. Next one, be wary of upfront payments and overpayments. Don't make any kind of upfront payment for a product or service that's not from a well-known merchant. Also, watch out if someone offers to buy something from you and then accidentally sends you too much money. They'll often ask for a refund, and then their check bounces on you and you're out of luck. Don't pay by money order or gift card. Scammers will ask you to wire transfer, money order, or gift card because all of those are harder to track and cancel. And if you do all those things, then you're going to be safe in general. As for the coronavirus scams, they say phony messages from scammers posing as government agencies. Just look out for these. Any offers for a cure, investment scams, charity scams, they are out there in full force. Have you guys come across any of this stuff? Have you seen it? Have you almost been tempted to click on a link or to da-da-da? Or are people, do you think they're pretty wise to it? Obviously, enough people still fall for this that these scammers still make a lot of money off of it. So they're going to keep doing it as long as people still fall for it. So definitely want to see what you guys have to say. I did lose my YouTube feed, so we're here on Instagram first, then over to Facebook. JimmyRants.com is the website. Thank you so much for being here today. And as always, if you love what I do here, click on JimmyRants.com and click on either the Patreon link or the PayPal link, and a donation of any amount would be greatly appreciated. Rachel has the first comment. I was switching my address for USPS online. I Googled the website and clicked on a site that was slightly different. The site wanted all of my info, including my credit card. Yes. It's so funny because you can do a Google search of like United States Postal Service, USPS, and you think you're going to the USPS.gov website. And then for some reason it sends you to a USPS145.com, and it's not even close. Now they'll make it look real, but yes, they ask for all that stuff. They never, no legitimate government or business entity will ask you for that stuff. Mom from Detroit says, my poor dad was scammed out of $2,000 from a grandparent scam. They're out there. They do, and they tug at the heartstrings of these grandpas, and a lot of them don't understand that these scams exist. I wish there was a way we could do a public service announcement for that generation, because they don't hang out online that much. They read emails, they might go on Facebook and that kind of thing, but they're not like really astute at this stuff like people my age and younger are. And so that's not to say all grandmas and grandpas get scammed, but there are susceptible ones out there that do, because they just don't know enough about these things existing. So if we educated, that would help. Jax says, I used to work at Safeway, and they had a credit union and wouldn't let this older lady wire money out because we knew she was going to get scammed. They told her she needed to send money to claim the prize. Well, good for you guys protecting that woman. Of course, she was mad at you, but look at what you saved her. Hopefully the credit union like called the FBI or the state attorney general or something, so they could look into it. But yeah, she's very lucky that you guys were there. They prevented her from doing that. In the end, she was pretty grateful we didn't allow her to send the money. Good. See, there are good people in the world doing that kind of thing, and thank you for that, Jax. But not everybody's there to save little old grandmas from sending out money like that. Judy says, yes, that's so true about Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, there's so many that come into the email, and it's got their logo, and it's got a little link. It looks so official. If you look carefully, though, look for any misspelled words, bad grammar, the email to, click on it and see what the actual email address is. You'll be surprised. It's not legit. All right, thank you, Instagram. Let's pop over here now to my Facebook page. What's up, Facebook? Thank you for being here today. Judy says, my son plays all kinds of games with the phone scammers to waste their time. It's hysterical. They get so offended. Yes. And again, I mentioned it earlier. If you're not following IRL Rosie over on YouTube, you gotta go do it. That girl, she is amazing. She's in her 20s, and she's a professional actress in LA. She has a lot of voices, a lot of voiceover type things. So she can sound like an old lady. She can sound like a little kid. She can sound like Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera. She's got all kind of really cool voices. But she'll literally get on the call with these people and mess around with them to waste their time. And to demonstrate, because she's on video, all the different kinds of scams out there. So go follow her. IRL Rosie has over 500,000 subscribers now on YouTube. Norma says, I get loads of emails from PayPal to update my information or can't process an order. I had trouble with PayPal years ago, so I'll never use them. I used to send them to PayPal to check, but not anymore. I just delete without opening. Well, I love PayPal. I've had them for many years. They've been really good to me. But yes, they are one of the ones that's used very popularly. What's interesting is they take these popular ones because they assume most people have those. And so they're taking a chance that you have a PayPal account when they say something's wrong. The funny ones are when I get something from Bank of America. Oh, there's something wrong with your Bank of America account. And I'm like, I don't have a Bank of America account. So those are pretty obvious. But yeah, they're out there. I have a friend who loves to mess with scammers. When he answers, he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt them. They either hang up or dead silence for a while. He's so clever. That's awesome, Norma. I have fun with them as well. Scammers, yeah, they don't know what hits them with some people. Kira says, as daughter of a cop and also from an immigrant family, we had a code word in Russia if a stranger ever came up to me, either me or my brother, and said, you have to come with me. I guess my dad saw too many missing children, and many kids would just follow the instructions from a grown-up. Sad. This code word could be used for many things even today, not just kids. Grandparents need a code word to not be scammed. Ooh, I like that. Really like that. Oh, Lord, save us from the scammers, says Kay. Yes. Norma says, do not answer questions they ask yes or no. They record you and they splice together a tape that you've given permission for whatever. Happened to me at a place I worked. My boss checked into company and they had numerous cases against them for doing this. Interesting. All right, so I lost the YouTube feed, so we're going to come back over here. I see a few more came in over on Instagram. TJ says, people come into Dollar General to buy eBay cards. They scratch off the number off the back, pay for things online, only to be told there's no money on the card. Yeah. When they give the number away, it's the same as giving it away. Exactly. When you give that little number on the back away, that's it. Like, they've got the money. They come back to the store and are able to show the money was loaded and they gave it away. Yeah. And that's when they had that sinking feeling inside. Jack says the CRA never communicates by phone, but not everyone knows that. Most of these companies don't communicate in those manners. C. Lauf says they also use Netflix. Yes, in the story I read from, Netflix was one of the scams. And in that example, it showed how the email address was obviously not real. But they make it look so real, don't they? So guys, that's the top internet scams of 2020, how you can spot them long before you become a victim. And if you do fall prey to these things, there was some really good advice in there. So please send this Jimmy Rants episode out far and wide, because this is the kind of information that I think is going to help so many people not get scammed, or at least have a less likelihood of being scammed. We just need to support each other and have this information out there, which is why I was happy to do it here today on Jimmy Rants. As my next door neighbor, of all the times for him to mow his grass, he's doing it right now when I'm doing a live show. You guys hear that loud? He just turned the corner. It's so loud. I can't tell if you can hear it or not, but it's really loud. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And as always, you can engage live in the content. Come follow me right here. I am on Instagram at @LivinLowCarbMan, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, engage live. We are here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So thank you so much for being here. We also go live simulcast over here on my Facebook channel. Thank you guys for being here. I lost YouTube when I got a phone call, so usually YouTube is there, but not today. Sorry, YouTube. So if you missed the live, you can watch it on replay here on Instagram on IGTV. So just check that out. As soon as this is over, we'll get it right up on Instagram television. We also put it up on YouTube. About an hour after the show, it goes up on YouTube. So go check that out. And finally, speaking of YouTube, today is Wednesday. So Living La Vida Low Carb Show is a Jimmy Rants bonus episode. I think the lawnmower's getting closer, guys. My neighbor literally never mows his grass, and it's the middle of October, in the middle of the day, on a friggin' Wednesday. Why are you mowing your grass today? Seriously, dude? You're killing me, man. It is beautiful out there, so maybe you just wanted to get out in the weather. Anyway, I do a live show from 11 to 12. What was I saying? Oh, Jimmy Rants bonus episode over on YouTube. Just go check that out. Johnny Bowden, Dr. Johnny Bowden, good friend of mine, has a book called The Great Cholesterol Myth. We wax eloquently about cholesterol and why it's not this big enemy in your health, and how insulin resistance really is the main enemy that you need to be paying attention to. So go check that out. Jimmy Rants bonus episode, or if you missed the video, you can actually listen to it on the Living La Vida Low Carb Show, LLVLC.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And then finally, pop on over to the official website for this show. It is JimmyRants.com. Once you're there, see all the past episodes, and you can support my work. Maybe I can soundproof Jimmy Rants Studio so lawnmowers don't inhibit the sound here anymore. Definitely click on the Patreon link or the PayPal link, and a donation of any amount would be greatly appreciated. All right, guys, that's it for now. I will be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. So until next time, we'll see you then.